It's an airplane that taught an entire generation of military pilots to fly, the Beech T-34 Mentor. These tandem complex trainers are aerobatics capable, relatively affordable, and fun to fly. They can be a practical cross-country platform. The airframe started as a Bonanza, but all striped up in their military livery, they look fantastic in tight formation flight.
With a deconfliction plan, all leads must monitor the CTAF here, 22.8, when your feet dry.
Of course, with all things aviation, safety starts on the ground. The T-34 Association putting on this pre-Oshkosh safety training that ensures the skills and proficiency needed are present to perform at air shows and other events around the country.
And what we do specifically here is we train people to fly formation, which is an art that is generally reserved for the military. But it's another skill set, and what's interesting is people who have thousands and thousands of hours will try their hand at formation flying, and it's like beginning over again as a private pilot. It's a whole different motor muscle memory type thing to learn how to do this.
Getting your formation and safety training, or FAST card, requires ground school. There is a test and a number of sorties, as well as a check ride. Pilots are pressed to refine their formation skills.
It's like a normal rating, you know, there's our standards and there are failures, and that it's meant to be that way. It's hard because it's worth it, and people want this qualification because it actually means something.
Being a few feet inline trail with your lead smoke streaming just above your canopy isn't for everyone. You have to trust your lead as well as your wingman. And don't mess up. Even a wobble can cost you some consternation in the post-flight briefing, or land you a less than desirable call sign once back on the ground. Formation flying really forces you to be a 3D pilot. You're quickly reminded that geometry and depth perception matter, especially when you're trying to rejoin on an inside turn. And you don't want to get sucked. And I'm not trying to be acute.
The bearing line is relative to the aircraft you're flying off of. So if you're in a turn, you have to, first of all, you have to step it up and stay on that 45-degree bearing line. And it's going to take some power, more energy to step the airplane up, and some rudder and some aileron finally. And as you're holding that bearing line, and if you do this a little too slowly or don't anticipate, guess what? You're sucked.
Echelon turns a few feet apart have to be precise, and not only for safety reasons. Anytime you get warbirds together, someone's always watching. Drew DeBosky's already a commercial pilot. He's still working on getting his FAST card.
It's something that you really can't do anywhere else in general aviation, and that's why it's so cool and unique. And you know, you're flying 3 feet from another airplane, and you're doing lazy eights and cross unders, and it's so cool that, you know, there's like a training criteria that's been set up so that you can do all these awesome things.
Someday soon, he'll be part of the next generation of pilots demonstrating their skills in keeping these T-34s flying. His father, JD, couldn't be prouder.
Every time he achieves a new stratus and it goes to a different goal, it just makes me more and more proud of what he's doing. And he seems to really enjoy it, and he seems to really love it, and so that's the win-win for me.
Like these airplanes are passed down generation to generation, a lot about formation flight's also being passed down.
It's interesting to look at the logbooks of these airplanes and see the different people that have flown them, the different people that have owned them, the maintenance that was done to them, the passion that people had for them, and they're still alive and you know, likely could be around for 150 years. Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
As is learning to fly them in close formation. It's just the start of an even bigger adventure.
Guys will initially go, well, I don't know, I might try this, and you give them 1 or 2 sorties with an instructor in their back seat, and they're hooked, and it's the only thing they want to do with the airplane now.
I know I learned a lot and gained even greater respect for those who make mass flyovers like the ones here at Oshkosh such a wonderful reminder of what a great country we live in, to have this freedom to fly. Paul Moses, AOPA Live.